people obviously like always say relationships are hard. They're hard work. They're a lot of work. But what does that tangibly look like to you?
I feel like you have to always be learning new levels of listening. When you get past it's anywhere from the 6 month to 2 year mark when the juices, so to speak, the chemicals have like sort of run their course. You may have had something that could be like wildly intoxicating. In some cases that's true. In some cases it's less or somewhere in between. But then you have to enter into a different kind of relationship. One that we don't see a lot. We don't see it modeled a lot, hardly ever. For reasons that have to do more with like what it takes to tell a good story than reality. In movies and TV and books and stuff. So then you have to think to yourself, like, well, what is a relationship for? Not just like, what am I in this for? What is a relationship for? Not just what is it doing for you? What are relationships for? You're developing your own narratives and biases that have to be kind of constantly reshaped, you have to check in with them. And then once you get into parenting, it just adds like a level of complexity that's really beautiful and rewarding. When you're parenting, actually, sometimes it can be really practical stuff. Like we have to schedule time for any kind of intimacy we want to have. Like if we want to go out, that needs to be in that calendar. And you have to find childcare. It's all this stuff. It's like, it's very real. And that can actually be a surprising amount of work. If I had advice for young people, we waste a lot of time in fear and hesitation and trying to imagine what the other person's thinking. Like, when is that ever going to happen? You don't know. You've never known. Stop trying to act like you've ever known. Just the way that relationships function, at least from a pop culture perspective, I think is like so crazy dysfunctional.